no one would have believed in the early years of the 21st century that mankind would be challenged with a virus that would force overweight women to wear face masks in supermarkets. Oh my god. Hello. So, if you can't tell, I've just watched one of my all-time favorite films. It's a film that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, but I'm also mildly well, not mildly, severely obsessed with. Yeah, I'll get out of the way. War of the Worlds, the 2005 film, Tom Cruise, the Spielberg. I just rewatched it for the fucking hell, I don't know, 30th time maybe. And I don't know, is it? I mean, it seems to be getting. It seems to feel shorter and shorter each time I watch it. Um, I don't know if alcohol's partly to blame. Um, but yeah, is that normal? Like, if anyone's listening, comment. More you watch a film, does it kind of feel shorter the more you watch it? Cause it's a 2 hour long film, but it felt like a breeze. Really, there was like nothing. Um, Bearing in mind, I was watching it with someone, and we were kind of like talking through it. But yeah, it's yeah, that film just fucking fascinates me. I don't know what it is. Um, it's just it's not so much like from a storytelling point of view, or because it's pretty basic from a storytelling point of view, or the act, or acting wise, um, and Steven Spielberg's direction, um, is of course top notch as usual. It's all is you can't fault him. The man is a genius. But I just it's with this film, it's more kind of the design, the aesthetic of it. I mean, right from the get go, it's it's kind of unlike any other film. I mean I mean, anyone like really into like color grading and editing would probably be like fucking triggered by this film, because right from the get go, the whites are just blown out of the water. They're just the whites are just so exposed, and especially sort of from the second scene where Tom Cruise is like greeting his children, who obviously staying for the weekend, and you could tell where, because they're shooting it on location. You could tell where they're shooting. It's been raining. I don't know if they chose that deliberately, but you could tell it's been raining, and the reflection on the road surface, and it's just so overexposed, the whites, and it's a lot of this film is it's kind of undersaturated. It's very, I mean, for an alien invasion film, it's very undersaturated at points, but then when the colors kick in, that they it's a lot more punchy in that way. So there's a later on in the film, there's a lot of kind of purples and blues and greens, and but the majority of the film is very kind of monochrome, and I think that's why it's because there's a lot of alien invasion films like Independence Day. It's very overblown. The colours are very in your face. It's very kind of comic book esque. But this one's very, it's very muted in its look, and it's just a very dark film. It's very kind of grounded, and dreary really, and I think that's why it's sort of one of my favourites in that sort of genre. And I mean, I I like sort of reading between the lines really, and the amount of kind of forums and theories I've kind of read upon that because you don't really understand. It never really goes into the 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 intention or the uh, the purpose of what the aliens are doing. It's more it's sort of unique to this film is it's you don't see the aliens unless the main characters are seeing them. So the kind of the purpose the mission of the aliens is kind of unfolding as the main characters discover them. Okay, they're coming out of the ground. They're they're vaporizing everyone. Oh no, they're vaporizing some of us, but they're also capturing some of us. Why is that? And then you understand that. Oh, okay, they're draining the blood of some of us. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, they're spraying the blood out into the atmosphere to create some kind of red weed. Oh, now they're dying off, and which is obviously predictably the same as the book. Which always kind of baffled me because these aliens that are fucking highly intelligent, they didn't, and presumably they've done this before on other planets. They didn't think, oh, maybe there's viruses on these planets. Maybe we should wear a suit. They're literally like they crawled into Tom Cruise's basement like pretty much with no protection whatsoever against our planet's atmosphere. Just like, fuck it. I mean, I think there's even a shot where one of the aliens is literally drinking water. But yeah, so you don't really it's not like Independence Day where it's like, oh, it's the government and the aliens are just down in the atmosphere and this is exactly what they do. I've just had a mind vision. They've just shown me exactly what their purpose is. Oh, they're moving from planet to planet, wiping us all out. It's like you don't really need that, and I think part of the mystery and what I say makes this film more of a thriller, I guess, is you don't know what they're doing. Um, there's no explanation for why the aliens or how long ago they buried these tripods, which obviously differed from the book because in the book they literally come from Mars, but I think Spielberg in an interview said that oh no, they don't come from Mars, they come from some fucking other planet across the universe. And going back to the theories, I think one of the theories was like, oh, Mars is like another planet they conquered, and that's why it's red, because of the red weed, and then they moved to our planet. But yeah, as I said, I kind of like reading between the lines on these films and kind of trying to theorize my own sort of things. And the kind of this time watching it, with the actual design of the tripods, I always assumed that they were always the same, and they were the same design for all the tripods. But then I kind of noticed like I think there might be kind of two variations because it's established that later on in the film they have these sort of cages attached to the sort of back ends of the tripod's heads where the human prisoners are stored to be harvested later on. And I noticed earlier on in the film and sort of later on in the film, where the tripod crashes and dies, that some of them don't have those cages. Now, I assume that this is probably just a mistake on the CGI designers' part, but maybe in law wise, they could be kind of two possible tripods here. So there's the tripods that kind of are meant to kind of just vaporize, because there's already been a theory that establishes that the aliens are only after a certain blood type, and presumably Tom Cruise's character and his family are of this blood type. Obviously that's a lot of plot armor there for the sake of them surviving, but presumably that's why they don't vaporize him straight away, and they're vaporizing everyone else around him. Um, so so it could be possible that there are tripods that are said to vaporize the ones that aren't crucial to the aliens' invasion, and they're just exterminating them. And then there are tripods that have the cages attached to them that are more kind of reconnaissance tripods with the uh, the search tentacle that you see in the basement, and they're the ones that are kind of meant to kind of, because these aliens, they go down into this basement 3 times to try. They are desperate for these people's blood, and they so these tripods are more, they're the harvesters. They're meant to, so you see them kind of foraging through all the dirt and presumably planting the seeds for this weed that is fertilized with human blood. Um, so presumably these tripods are meant to search for ripe human beings with the right blood type, and they're the ones with the cages. Um, I don't know. But it's an interesting theory. I just love the whole aesthetic of this film. Particularly the tripods. The way I mean, the animators of this film the fucking, how this film didn't get an Oscar for the CGI, for the special effects, because 2005 this film came out, and the tripods in certain shots, they just look like they're there. They just look like they're real. I mean, because this film came out the same year as the Revenge of the Sith, and most of that film CGI is awful. Um, but this the design of the tripods, it's mechanical. It feels grounded. It looks like it has a weight to it, but the way it moves in certain shots is very kind of animalistic. It looks like it's curious. It looks like it's a living thing. In fact, there's a particular shot where I think Tom Cruise throws the grenade at the shield to like purposely get captured to save his daughter. And the way the tripod kind of rotates itself, its legs are placed in the same place, but it kind of turns itself to almost like a jellyfish or a squid, really, and it kind of rears itself like it's curious, and when it turns around to approach Tom Cruise to capture him, it kind of rears its tentacles first, like a squid would, and then lashes out and captures him. But sort of little nuances like that you can tell they must have done some research into kind of squid like creatures like that. Even its head looks like a very aquatic sort of design, and I think the aliens, they're kind of meant to be inspired by frogs, I think, but obviously 3-legged frogs. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my kind of ramblings on this. One of my favourite films, really. I know a lot of people kind of see it as a kind of it's kind of meh film. It's fine, or people don't really like it, but I'm fucking obsessed with this film. And yeah, I just thought I'd chew people's ears off with that. So I hope you enjoyed that rant there, and yeah, there'll be another podcast out soon, hopefully. Cheers.